Well. Good morning, degenerates. Good morning. It's Monday. Coffee and Craps time here with John on Coffee and Craps with John, Pro Craps, Casino Gaming TV. Let's do it. Let's play our morning 4 rolls to goal. And we'll go a little aggressive today on the 6 and 8. For whatever reason, I don't know. I'm actually going to go this morning with 150 on the 6 and 8 because why not? And we'll drop just a quarter on the 5 and 9. And we'll see how that rolls out. I just want to give a little, actually, let's do the 5. Yeah, we'll do the 5 and 9. And just go for it on the inside with 4 rolls. I'm going to open up new dice today. I got a new set of casino dice from a guy here in Washington, Craig Rogers, who runs a Facebook group for craps players in Washington, and he got a bunch of dice from Jerry's Nugget. These are actually Jerry's Nugget dice, if you care about such things. My friend Ian, my playing partner, went and bought them and dropped me the stick yesterday on our way to the casino. And so I'm going to get the 7s knocked out. One thing I was telling Ian, when you get these casino dice, one thing I love about casino dice is A, they've got money on them, right? These dice have all won and lost lots and lots of money. Also, with these casino dice, the last thing that they rolled always was a 7. Right? When they go out of commission, somebody 7's out, they lock them up, right? So every dice here has got money on them and a little bit of bad juju from the last roll. So I'm going to roll them in pairs just until I don't see a 7. Make sure we kind of knock some of that ugly ass rust off of these guys. There's a bunch of 9s, which I like seeing for out here. 8. We'll get these 2 in there and we're good. So we have superstitiously knocked off the bad juju. And here we go. We're going to go ahead and roll out the 4 rolls to goal challenge here with my new Jerry's Nugget dice. And again, I'm going to go heavy 6 and 8 here just because, and we'll get 4 rolls in. I'm not even going to care about the point. I'm just going to play 4 straight up rolls against a 7. Do not care about the point. I'm just going to roll 4 times and hope for the best. Here we go. Dice are out. And we're going to grab a 7. Oh my, are you freaking kidding me? Out of the gate, the first thing we roll is a 7, and we lose all of our money on the first roll. Awesome. Good start to the week. I love it. I love coming out guns a-blazing. Thank you, Jerry's Nugget, for bringing me the ugliest opening salvo ever. That's awesome. Too bad, so sad, right? That's how it goes. And it's funny because I have a Yolo story for you to tell later on. That's kind of a Yolo style of bet there. I want to talk to you about that in a minute. Why are we looking at that screen? Let's go back to here. Let's go here and talk face to face. So yeah, I've got a little, today's going to be kind of a weird show. I think more podcast than craps today because I got a lot to say. And I will talk about Yolo because I got a Yolo plan here in action that I actually started this weekend. So with that said, let's recap the weekend and talk about some of the stuff that's going on here. We've got the Friday night fight was really interesting. It went long. We have some work to do. I've noted here, it went about 2 hours. We have cleanup to do in a lot of ways to speed the day up, to speed the show up a little bit. There's a little bit of confusion getting the bets into the dealer fast enough. The dealers, we tend to like, hey, you want odds on that? Do you want to move this here? No, we got to let the players decide what they're going to do and have the thing. So the players have got to be more ready with their bets, and the dealers got to do a little less chit chat in between and just kind of get the thing rolling and be more of a facilitator. If we have an announcer, the announcer's job is to kind of do some of that stuff and kind of banter around. But let's really look at compressing time if we can. But the match itself was good. E-Hydra, Eddie, and Chris went back and forth quite a bit. And it was funny because Chris went aggressive early. And luckily, the aggression paid off, right? He won round 1 on a couple of late decisions that really escalated him. He hit a couple of big ones there at the end to take round 1. Eddie stormed back in round 2. And in round 3, I think it was really right here toward the end. And Chris Dice Degen was dealing, and he rolled 4 6s. That last round is a 6-roll round. He rolled 4 6s in those last 6 rolls. And ironically, Chris got beat on the 5-1 mixer, was the roll that beat him. And Eddie took the challenge, and Eddie's the new champion. So we have a new champ sitting atop the group here. Eddie is waiting now for Badger 87 Jim to come through and play him. And Badger's also, just so you know, Eddie, rocking it over at the Color Up tournament too. So Badger, I think you're in the finals. So yeah, it's going to be hell of a show this week. We may do that on Wednesday. We'll see. We've got. I'll show you the chart here. We have a lot of folks in the hopper right now, so we may do a show during the week and then one on Friday. We'll see. With DiceCon coming up, we're going to miss a whole week of everything. It'll all be off. So anyway, there's that. But we are working on it. We got a lot of good suggestions during the show, and I think I made this comment during the airing of that show, which is like, if you watch season 1 of anything, it's ass. You watch season 1 of Star Trek or Seinfeld, you're like, God, this show, how could this show ever have made it? You know, because there's so many kinks to work out and the characters aren't gelled yet. That's where we are. We're trying to figure it out. We're going to get a good system down, and it's going to be, I think one of the best shows on TV here once we figure out all the nuance to it. And again, I want to make it repeatable for Baccarat and for Blackjack and for Roulette even. I want to have heads-up battles in all the games. And once we get the formatting and the timing and the rhythm down, we can repeat that. And that's, to me, it's like, as a coder professionally, I'm big on patterns, right? And a huge pattern recognizer. And I think that's what I want, is to settle in on a pattern that we can repeat and repeat and repeat, sort of like test-driven development, what we're doing here. So that's that. It's going to take us a hot minute. Just be patient with us as we go through it. And again, appreciate that support. It was awesome. Again, Craps Chat June 28th. I don't know that there's a subject yet, but let's start cracking down on that. We're going to have a lot to talk about because that'll be the first Craps Chat after DiceCon. And DiceCon is going to be freaking enormous. Like, it was funny, and I'll tell you a little bit of inside baseball. We were in the meetings at Color Up when we first had the idea, and Jeremy literally said, there's no way we're going to get 20 people to this thing. People, who wants to fly, spend money to go to Vegas to gamble for 3 days? Nobody has the money. It's going to be a big ask, right? I think there's 90 people that are signed up for it, that are paid and going as part of the troupe. You know, we're going to do the Casino Quest thing and all that stuff. There's another 50 people that I know of. At least 50 people that I know that are going that didn't sign up. There's going to be there because we're all going to be there. A lot of Craps Nations folks, a lot of folks that just hang out behind the scenes that are going to be there too. This is going to be a huge event. I think you're going to see like a sea of Craps players. It's going to be insane. So we all going to have to wear name tags and bright lights to see who is. At least you all know who I am, because how can you miss the beautiful bald head? But it's going to be fantastic. So anyway, I expect the Craps Chat after that to be a 4-hour show, and all the stories and lies and everything else coming out of what happened down there. It's going to be awesome. The other thing is I launched a new video series that I want to show you really quick. I'm not going to show you a video, but I'm going to switch screens and show you, hopefully, let's see, why are we not seeing the thing? That should be second monitor. Where's my second monitor? Oh, you know why? Because of that. Hold on. There it is. Here's, by the way, the King of the Mountain standings. So Eddie and Badger are next up. We haven't set a date or a time yet. I will let you know, but there's a pretty good group of people over here. Get yourself in the list. All you gotta do is come over here to CasinoGaming.tv and log in, and then click the sign up button. It's a 2-click system, and you're in, and you're on the list. So get in now before this list gets to be 100 people. Anyway, I made a new playlist on the Pro Craps channel, and as you recall, Friday Follies last week, I filmed myself filming myself for these videos, and then I went, of course, and I lost the video that I filmed, so I redid it. But now I went and made a playlist, and this playlist, by the way, is a public playlist, but the videos themselves are not listed. So you won't find these videos on my channel. You can only get to these videos from this playlist, and the reason for that is that they're vertical. I didn't want these videos just out there willy-nilly, because they're there for a reason. These are all about 2 or 3 minutes long. They're super short, and I'll click one, but I'll turn the volume off just so you can see how it looks. Let me turn the volume down. And you'll see that they're made for your phone, and they're really like, how do you play this one easy part of a strategy? And like, it's like to remind you while you're taking going to the bathroom at the casino, or you're in your car walking up, how did he play that again? And here's like the 2-minute summary of how you play a thing. So that playlist is out there. There's 3 videos in it. I expect to have about 30 of them in here, with odds and all the other super short things that I can teach as a kind of a pocket reference to the game. So this will be a public playlist, but private video. So if you get to the playlist, you can zoom through and watch all these videos easily. I just didn't want them out here in the main channel, because they're not going to be valuable for somebody who's browsing YouTube to just walk through and see one of these 2-minute videos out here in this. We'll see how y'all like it, but I would really appreciate this. I'm not going to ask you to do anything weird, but I do really want your comments on those things. I'd love to know, as you watch those, how did it feel watching on your phone? Was the screen too small? Just give me your comments, your feedback on that, because that helps me make, if I'm going to do that, they take a lot of time, of course. If they're valuable to you, let me know in the comments, and I can make more or less of them, I guess, right, as the case were. So go to Pro Craps channel, go to the playlist down here called Pocket Craps, and just watch them. They'll take you 10 minutes to watch all 3 of them. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I appreciate that because that, again, helps me drive things forward as we go. So that's that. And of course, your daily reminder: join Discord on Casino Gaming TV. Please get in there and talk. It's the best way to talk to us. Really good chats going on in there. Actually, it's kind of fun. We're having a sweet old time. So there's that one. The other announcement I've got to make for you is the Pass the Rack Challenge is getting interesting. Mudslide Mac came out of retirement. So Mudslide Mac has been not doing a lot of videos. I think there's, YouTube can be a little negative, as you all well know. He's kind of pulled back a little bit, it looks like, but George called him out. He won $30K yesterday and passed the rack to Dave at Same Bet. So now our friend Dave at Same Bet has the rack with $77,000 in it. And so Dave's got it, which is great. I can't wait to see what Dave does with his video of it. He's such a great showman. And he's a good craps player. I want to see what he does with this thing. So Dave Carlin at Same Bet has the rack now. So it's passing through some of the Craps Nation elite, and we'll see what they do with it. So there's past the rack. It's getting going. Quick Craps for the Cure update. There is no update yet. If you've watched, and again, get to Discord, right? If you're in Discord, there's a whole channel for this. Steve is working through getting a 501c3 or 501b. I'm not sure, 501d. I'm not sure which one he's doing, but he's getting a 501 designation for Craps for the Cure. And what that means is any donations that are given to us directly during the telethon, we can transfer it right over to the Cancer Society. Like we're going to transfer it anyway. But the fact that we're a 501c3, and it isn't like you're giving John $10 and John sends it over like it was last year. The fact there's a charity designation behind the whole thing adds this big air of legitimacy to the whole deal, which means the casino now can funnel money through it. And we can do things like, for example, I'm going to do a YOLO challenge during the thing. I'm going to use my own money, right? And I'm going to YOLO myself. Every hour for the 24 hours, I'm going to do one YOLO toss, right? My own money. And it'll be one for me, one for them. I'm going to do $64 for me and for the casino. We're going to go through this whole thing every hour. And the YOLO is going to be for charity. We're going to ask them to match the win, right? Match the win that I get for the casino side of it. They could never do that if there wasn't a 501 designation behind the whole thing. So that's a huge deal that we're getting that. That's the big update. The other update is where Ian Olson, who's out here in chat, he can tell you guys in chat kind of what it was like. We were at the casino yesterday. He and I went for a couple hours, had a really good time. And I'll give you a trip report at the end of this session today. I'll end with our trip report. But we went up to one of the casinos that's vying for the rights to do this. And I think there's going to be a war between the casinos over who gets to have us for 24 hours. That's what it's going to turn into. I think it's going to be a Dice Conish kind of a thing. We're going to get a lot of people that want to participate. But we went up there to one of them yesterday and had a good look and kind of toured around the place. And I think we're onto something here. So I couldn't be any more excited about it. But nothing new to report yet until the charity designation is in, and then we have the meetings, and Ian's leading the charge on that. Ian and Steve are kind of leading the thing. I'm working on, like, what are we going to do? I'm trying to figure out camera angles. I'm trying to figure out who's going to come visit and what games are we going to play and how are we going to make it fun. That's my job, is to be, entertaining guy. Let those two handle the logistics of it. But unlike the first Crapsathon, we have a team, right? We got Ian, we got Steve, you got me. We've got my co-trip, Carl's wife, Abort Code. She's part of our Discord. She's going to help out a little bit. If you want to be a part of the behind the scenes piece, get on Discord, get in that channel, and let us know, because honest to God, it took so much of my, like, a part of my soul last year to get that thing pulled off for 24 hours. The filming of it was easy. It was all the other crap that took forever. So all the help we can get. This thing is going to be huge. I think this is going to be a repeatable, huge thing, and I can't even tell you how excited I am about it. So that's the Craps for the Cure. No tangible update, but some tactical things going on. There's what's going on. So other news and stuff that's going on. Midmo Yo, by the way, get on Midmo Yo's channel. I know that you all here live are on his channel. Everybody watching this after this, go to Midmo Yo's crap channel. Chiro's awesome, man. He's just got his killer personality. I love listening to him talk. He's the guy, I wish he would do a podcast. I think he's super fun. But he's got this new series he's doing called Here's the Deal, which is great. For those of you who don't know, I used to play in a band, by the way. This is a complete segue. I played in a band when I was in my 20s. I moved to Seattle from Jersey to play in a band. I played, in a thrash metal band here in Seattle. And our one and only EP, the 5-song album was called Deal With It. So when I saw that, I'm like, oh, that brings me back. Here's the deal. He's going to say, here's the deal. Here's what happened to me at the table. What would you do? Right? What would you do? And that's going to be his kind of question. Some of them he says will be funny. Some will be serious. This weekend, I guess he was playing and said I don't know, I forgot if he walked up to the table and they were already there or if you were there and they walked up. But either way, there were some young guys at the table that were partying and half drunk and having a great old time. And he was playing Dark Side. Everybody plays Light Side, unless you are educated, I guess. Did I say that out loud? Sorry, John, that was my outside voice. Anyway, they're giving him shit. They're giving him the business the whole time. And it's uncomfortable. When you're playing Dark Side, it can be super uncomfortable to have a bunch of right-siders give you a bunch of shit. And here's what it comes down to. It comes down to, how you present yourself, I think, right? If you're the Dark Side guy that's aiming for their chips and you're being an asshole, you deserve it, right? You deserve everybody on the table giving you a hard time. If you're the Dark Side guy that's just in the hook, being quiet, betting the don't, not saying a word, then so what? Right? Then that guy is just kind of, he's a piece of furniture at that point. Nobody should give a shit about him either. Me, I play the Dark Side, and here's my answer to your question, Chiro. I play the Dark Side, and Ian will back me up on this. I played Dark Side almost the entire day yesterday. But I'm fun. You know me, right? I think you all might think I'm pretty fun to play with. I have a good time. We're joking around. All the bald guys at the table are comparing hairstyles. We had a great time yesterday, and I'm playing Dark Side the whole day. I don't even think anybody knew it, right? Because I didn't make a spectacle of myself being an ass down there on the Dark Side. I just put my bet down and played it, and I played Dark Side, and PJ, listen, I played some Hybrid too, believe it or not. I played Hybrid and I won. Dark Side with a couple of place bets and take some money back, and I did okay, and it didn't matter, right? And if I'm on the Dark Side and somebody gets a point of 4, I'm stoked. Right? If they hit the point of 4, like yesterday, a guy did it, right? He's on the point of 4. Ian's up there on the 4 with the hard 4, and the guy rolling has a hard 4, and he hits the point with a hard 4. I'm like, fuck yeah, man. I high-fived him. Great. They took $20 from me. Everybody out there made money on the 4. I don't care. You know why? Because the next roll, PSO, and I made my money back, right? It's all good. I think it's about your attitude. You go in the table with a sourpuss attitude, you can expect to get grief, and you probably deserve it. You go to the table, look and have a good old time, which craps ought to be. Even if you're Dark Side, you can have fun, believe it or not. I'm sure Darth Vader partied a little bit. So that's what I'm saying. That's my answer to your question. Have a good time. You're at the table for a short period of time. Have fun. Doers are there. They want to, trust me, they're standing up, leaning over a table for 8 straight hours. Their backs hurt. They're tired. Engage a little bit. Do your thing. I don't think anybody knew I was playing Dark Side, except for the time when I had the dice and I said, everybody here better go Dark Side right now. Y'all get on the don't. I said it. Everybody on the don't pass right now, because I was on the wrong side of the table. I didn't know what I was doing with the dice, and I'm like, I don't have any faith in this throw at all. And that was the only time I think anybody knew to go dark. Was the one time, but I think it's all attitude, man. I think it's all how you present yourself and what you're bringing to the table. There you go. So yeah, don't wear a Darth Vader helmet at the table. If you're wearing a helmet, you probably shouldn't be playing craps. It's probably a bad thing. And there you go. Like I say this all the time, right? Everybody can't win every single time, but if anybody wins and the chips come from the casino to the players, we should all be happy about that. That's the thing to celebrate. So there it is. There's my thing there. Other things that happened over the weekend. Ken from Ken Knows Gambling, good friend of mine. I love Ken. I loved Ken from Video 1. He's got 166 videos out there. I loved him from Video 1 because Ken, literally hair on fire, Hawaiian shirt, just cussing at the camera, telling you what he thinks. I think Ken's fantastic. He can rub you the wrong way, sure. He, whatever. I mean, people love hate. I love him. I think Ken's great. He's taking a break. And I think he's taking a break for the right reasons. He's not taking a break because he's burnt out. He's taking a break, and he said in his video, like, he's like, I said all I got to say. Like right now, he feels like he's put everything on video that he wants to put on video. So he's done for a while. He may come back with new stuff, but he's like, I can't keep rehashing the same old shit over and over again. I've said what I got to say. The thing is, for me, YouTube doesn't work that way, right? YouTube, once you kind of go dark, your stuff YouTube stops showing your stuff, which is weird. If it's good content, it should be out there, but YouTube sees it as stale and it starts to suppress it a little bit. So Ken's message will no longer be seen by people, which kind of sucks, but he'll come back and bring it back up again. I'm not in a position yet where I feel like I've said all I got to say. As you know, I'm a talker, so here I am talking. And that's that. The other thing is the DGE 20% regression, which is kind of cool. I think Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Craps filmed his version of it. I'm going to do my version of it as well. And Jeff very astutely says, it's an easy challenge to start with, right? Give you 50K, win 10, easy. Take 10 and win 1, easy, right? Or win 2, easy. Bigger amounts, you can win 20% because you have more wiggle room in there, right? You get down to like $200 trying to win, it's harder. But DGE is having you kind of wind down 20,000 or 50,000 down to like $16. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm not sure when I'm going to film mine, but the rules of this competition are one that's hard for me because I can't get the full back wall and my layout in the same camera shot. So I got to figure out how to get my camera set up so you can see it all because he wants the dice visible 100% of the time. So once I get that figured out and I can do it live, and I'll live stream it. I will not do it on a recording. I'll live stream the whole thing. You can fail with me and we'll see how it goes. So that's going to be what's that's coming up. I'm not sure when. Let's see. Yes, Duracell. I got to announce this. I saw this before I made or after I made this slide here. But yeah, we got Waylon and I both got a shout out last night from the guys at Casino Quest. That's pretty damn cool. You have no idea who's watching you, right? And somebody else wrote in Discord that David said he actually watches our videos and likes how we break things down. I think it's really cool, man. David's a good guy. I interviewed him last year on the Crapsathon. And he's actually got some donations already set up for us for this Crapsathon. He's got some original unused chips and other things from the stratosphere. He's got some really cool stuff that he's gonna donate to us this year for Crapsathon. So I think that's pretty awesome. I really feel pretty good about that. Nuts and Bolts all says God of Gambling has gone dark. 555s has gone dark. And the thing is, like, they're great content, but for whatever reason, YouTube, unless you go to their channel, you can't find them. Like, they will not suggest their videos to you. YouTube stops suggesting videos the minute you stop posting, which I understand why, right? They're in business to make money, but the algorithm does not help you at all if you're going dark at the channel. But stay subscribed. I think Fives went dark completely. He turned his channel off, but the God of Gambling, I think his stuff is still out there. So anyway, that's all that. Let's go to the table really quick, and I'm gonna circle back. I'm gonna close the show today with the trip report. I want to talk to you about inside betting really quick, and then we'll talk about the trip. Let me go to the table here, and we'll go to this view. Even though let's see, I may just go to this view because we'll do that. I'm not gonna roll the dice so much today as talk a little bit about inside betting, and this is going to be kind of a topic here about your approach to it. And let's be really, really simple. I'll use the easiest possible bets. We're just going to go 110 inside because it's simple to make the bets, okay? 110 inside, I have told you that you've got a 75% advantage over the 7 here, okay? And I think people misconstrue this and don't understand what I mean when I say that. That does not mean you've got this like incredible, like you're an advantaged player now, that we didn't like unlock any kind of a secret, okay? What this means is that with these rolls, you've got 10 ways to roll these two, 8 ways to roll those. You have 18 ways to roll. And if we put out 18 chips, and I'll do it, there's 5, there's 10. Do I have 18 chips here? There's 15, there's 18 chips. There's 18 ways to win, and there's 6 ways to lose. There's your 5 reds. 6 ways to lose, 18 ways to win. And just look at that. And I want you to picture all these chips, the 18 ways to win, the 6 ways to lose, in a blender. We all go into a blender, right, like this, and you're gonna close your eyes, and you're gonna say, well, I'm gonna go and reach into this blender and pick out a chip. And what color chip is it? Is it a winning chip or is it a losing chip, right? That's your 75% advantage. That's what it looks like. Put all your possibilities into a bag. Reach into the bag, close your eyes like you're doing your white elephant thing or whatever, and grab a chip. And do you win or do you lose? Well, here we lose, right? That's what it means. That's what 75% advantage looks like in reality. It's just all the ways you can win, all the ways you can lose. On a given roll, what's gonna happen? Sometimes you reach into the bag and get nothing. Sometimes you go into the bag of chips and you flail around and you sneeze and you pull out an 11 and it's nothing, right? That's what it means. This means that out of every 4 rolls, every 4 decisions, 4 of them, 3 of them will be good for you, you will win. 1 of them will be bad for you and you will lose. That's what a 75% advantage looks like. You reach into the bag, 3 out of 4 times you're gonna get a white chip, 1 out of 4 times you're gonna get a red chip. When you get the white chip, what happens? You get a white chip, this happens, 25, 35. So let's say that it goes perfectly for you. I got a white chip, fan-freaking-tastic. I got another white chip, awesome. I got a 3rd white chip, that's fantastic. I come in, I get the red chip, and all this goes away. I went out there for 110, what do I have? I have 75, there's a green chip, there's 105, and I lost $5. Okay, that's it. That's the whole lecture, right? You've got 3 times out of 4 you're probably gonna win. 1 time out of 4 you're gonna lose all your money, right? So when you're inside betting or across betting or 6 and 8 betting, right? You got a ton of money out there at risk, right? And think of it this way, you're risking 110. Let's put the money back out there again. Let's put the 110 right back. Sorry, I got my coffee in my hand here, so I'm one-handing this thing. You got 110 out there at risk to win $35, okay? Think about that. You're risking 110 to win 35. And I know that we all play this game thinking that we're gonna get the monster roll. Excuse me, and we're gonna get multiple hits and it's gonna be amazing. Even if you have a miracle. And a miracle means 3 hits before the 7. Remember, you could go win, win, loss, win in that order and be really in bad shape. Because think about that, right? 3 wins out of 4. Let's actually play it like that and see what it looks like, right? You can go win. There's $35. You can go win again, $35. Take all your money, right? So now you're down. I'll put the 110 over here. You're actually down 110. That's a loss. You have 2 wins, and then you go back out again. 1, 2, 3, like this. You can get 2 losses in a row. You can be down 220 before that 3rd and 4th one comes in, right? And the compounding of these losses between the wins, again, 3 out of 4 doesn't always come 1, 2, 3, loss. It comes win, win, loss. Maybe you get your 3rd win here. Now you're at your 105. Maybe you get a 4th win. And then you lose it again. Where are you? Now you're down 220. And for damn sure, there ain't 220 out here, right? It's all about the timing of it. So if you get perfect timing, you're still going to be down $5. Like, think about that. If it works out the way it ought to, and you win 3 and lose 1, you're still down $5, right? So how do you combat that? Well, the way to combat that is twofold, right? I think number 1, you got to press. If you're going to play it like that, right, there's no way to win. It's impossible to beat the house in that circumstance. Let's do it again with a little bit of a press built into it. So let's say you go $35 in the first win. And let's say that at the very least you do this. You just go to there with your nickels, and that's your first win. And then you take a 6 and 8 win for 35, and then you take a $42 win from the 5 or the 9 that comes in, right? Where are we now? There's our 3 wins. Let's add it up. Let's say you lose on the 4th roll. Where are you at? You're at 75. You're at 102, right? You actually lost more by pressing, but what you got to think about is once you hit your 3, that's the time to pull. We say 3 hits and down a lot. The reason for 3 hits and down is that 3 hits and down, and you bring all this shit back to you, And if you do that, there's your 110. And now you've got, I'll color these up for you. Now you have 112. So you're actually up $2. So you need at least a press and to beat the 7, actually 3 times out of 4. And you're still barely ahead with just a single press. But if you don't press and bring that back down as part of your deal, you're gonna be upside down at least $5 every time. So there's an argument to be made against same betting because you're gonna for sure be down. But if you press and you don't ever collect on it, again, we'll do that example one more time. There's 25, 35, and you press up in here. We'll take those as a press. Let's say the 6 and 8 hit again. There's 35. And we'll take a $42 hit on the outside. Let's say we get a good one, 42. After 3 hits, you're actually doing worse than if you didn't press at all. If you get into the situation, you've got to pull back to prove the profit. You got to pull back, and you got to know where you are, right? After 3 hits, you're at, again, 102. If you regress at this point, you're going to lock it up. If you pull back, you're going to lock it up. If you stay put, the 7's coming, you're going to be upside down again by a little less than before. You're upside down here by, well, actually you're upside down by $8. So think about that as you're going here. I wanted to make sure I called that out. PJ Strong, he's a good guy. He can be a little obnoxious sometimes, but I love him anyway. Points this out, and the way he phrases this is you're picking up nickels in front of a steamroller. I think that's a great way to frame this discussion. And as you can see, that's exactly what's happening, right? And if we set it back up, I'll do it one more time. We'll set them back up again, right? The steamroller is coming. You know the 7, well, there it is, right? You know that bad boy's coming. And as you're doing it, you're risking 110 to win 35, okay? You've won 35. Now you're risking what's 110 minus 35? It's gonna be $75 is that risk here to win 35. Now you're risking $40 to win 35. And now you're risking at this point $5 to win 35. So as you collect, your level of risk goes down, but you're always upside down until you get to the last one. Here you're still risking at the third one. You're risking $40 is what's your net out here in action. Risking 40 to win 35, you're still laying against the house. You're laying against the 7 every single time with this, okay? Not really laying, but think of it that way. 110 to win 35, 70 to win 35, 40 to win 35. You're always laying odds on a number where you're at the disadvantage, right? You're still, the 7's better than all these numbers. So you got to think about that as you're going through. And I want to make sure that I called that out today because almost every strategy that we talk about, me included, is always these inside strategies and different ways to play it. You have a 75% advantage on a given roll, right? But remember, the one that you lose all of it. And that's a bitter pill. It's a jagged little pill, as they say, right? That's a tough one to take on that. So make sure that when you're doing this, you got to bake into your system a press, at least one press to make it right. And you got to bake in some regression or some pullback to make it stick. Because if you don't make it stick, you're going to get screwed. And that's kind of the thing. So the short little demonstration / lecture there. I do have to get to work today early. I got a 8:45 this morning. So I want to make sure I talked about that. And tomorrow I'm going to work through some of the better and work through some more math on that and some other better rollouts to kind of demonstrate options there. But I hope that visual made sense today. I was thinking about that over the weekend. I thought it would be a good thing for us to kind of talk through. So there's that. I want to talk to you about my process a little bit here before I get out. My process is this, and it's always misunderstood. And it's funny because I call out people. I'll call out PJ, I'll call out Jay sometimes, I'll call out Myopia Movie sometimes, and I'll call out some of my best friends too, because I'll put videos out like, what the hell are you doing? They're like, why are you doing this? Why would you put out such a stupid strategy? Or why would you film yourself doing that dumb thing that you know is dumb? PJ says all the time, you know this is bad, why are you doing it? And I'm like, the reason why I know it's bad, the reason why I know that this thing is not a good idea, or maybe I don't even know it yet, but the reason why I get there is because I do this kind of shit. I'll roll that out. I've rolled out, by the way, the don't pass pressure, parlay pressure thing. 100 times. I know that thing works. I wouldn't put it out there for you as a thing I think you should do until I know that it works all the time or most of the time. And I will do dumb things. I will go, like you saw over the weekend, don't pass pressure, 410 hard ways, right? And I'll roll it. I rolled it twice over the weekend. I've rolled it 100 times since. I'll keep on doing it. My process is take something that's probably a little silly or doesn't make all the math sense and say, well, can it hold up? And I'll roll it and roll it and roll it and roll it at all the different values. I'll do it at $10 level. I'll do it at $100 level, and I'll see, does it make any sense for us to talk about? Sometimes I do that in silence. You don't see it. Sometimes I do it in wind craps and I show it to you. Sometimes I just go at midnight and roll the dice when I'm half drunk. So you can see what happens, right? That's my process. And so you may not always agree with the things that I put out there, and there's a reason for it because I'm doing it thousands of times. I'm not just telling you, I think this is a bad idea, or that's the thing I just did right there. It's not because I made it up, right? It's because I've done it. And my process is to do it and fail at every single level. I will go from 22 inside and try and press that shit high and see if it's even possible. Can you make money from that standpoint? That's why I talk about percentages. That's why I talk about chips or checks instead of dollars. I never talk about dollars. I talk about units and percentages because it doesn't matter. That's years of me doing this, years of it. That's my process. And my process is here to help y'all with a little bit of reality. So sometimes I do silly things on purpose. Sometimes I do silly things or crazy things or non-mathy things on purpose because I want to test it. I want to stress test stuff. And I think if I don't stress test it, and yes, I make mistakes dealing, I was telling somebody yesterday, go look at the video from the weekend, Ian. Look at all the comments on the video from the weekend that there was 2 of them I did. Look at all the people that have come out and said, at this timestamp, you screwed up, right? I know. I'm not a great dealer, right? But I'm a rhythm guy, and I like to see how things work, and that's my process. So understand that when I show you stuff, it's not always, sometimes it's, I wonder if it'll work. Sometimes it's, we're going to make this work or not. We're going to prove together whether or not something works. I go out there sometimes not knowing the answer. That's part of it. We're going to discover some things together. And I think that piece of the way that I do this, I think is important for everybody to see. So there's that. The last thing I'll talk about is trip report. Last weekend, I went out and got my butt handed to me, right? I talked about this. I went out, had 2 really bad sessions, really undisciplined, not a John style weekend for sure. And I ended up coming out a hair down, like basically even. Fine. I mean, it's okay. I hate, you know me, tying is like kissing your sister. I don't want to be in a tie. I'll take it, but I'd rather win. This weekend, a little different story. I called Ian Olson here in chat. He's my buddy. He's here. He lives like maybe 5 miles from me. I'm like, hey man, you want to go to the casino? I want to try something out. And actually what I wanted to do is I wanted to try the don't pass parlay pressure. I wanted to try it in a live casino against other players and see how it holds up. We also selfishly wanted to go look at the casino and see, what was happening. Well, the cool thing was this: Angel of the Winds Casino, where we went to here locally, was hosting the PBA bowling championship. So there was like 1,000 people in there watching the bowling championship, all sorts of cheers. It was really kind of a cool atmosphere, which also if that ends up being the home for the Craps for the Cure night, there's a bowling alley in the casino, which is super cool. Anyway, we had a good night. Actually did, let's see, get to the screen here. To prove to you that I can do this, there's the video screen proof. I had a 39 roller over the day. So my first 2 rolls were awful, right? I was on stick right. I was actually out at the way out, so the hook on stick left, or stick right hook, awful. Could not get any kind of rhythm. I think I threw 4. Maybe 7. It was not very good. Whatever. Everybody did bad. The guy next to Ian left. I jumped over to stick right 1. Get closer to the back wall. It's a big giant. It's a 14-foot kind of bouncy table there. And I made some adjustments. I took my second roll, wasn't very much better. And I thought, now I know what I got to do. And the third roll, I said, I'm going to change it up. And I was joking, like, go from the dark side because I don't know what's going to happen here. And so I went out there, and what I did was, I went out with, I did the don't pass on myself. I bet the ATS, and I went out on the 4 and 10. I did just the 4. I did $20 4 and 10, $15 hard 4, hard 10, and the don't pass, just like I was doing the other night. And I started rolling, and of course, luckily on the don't pass for me, I rolled the 2, or the 3, the 12, and the 11 on the come out. So I knocked out the hard part of the ATS except for the 2 right away. 2 of those were scores, 1 of those was a loss for me. And now we're playing. And I'm rolling, I think I rolled 7 or 8 times, and I didn't get any 4s or any 10s. I'm like, well, screw this. I pulled them down, pulled the hard 4, hard 10 down, and I went 22 inside. It's $5 table. 22 inside, let's try and build something here, right? Well, from that point on, 30 rolls later, I'd made about $500 on myself, and I pressed 22 inside all the way up. I actually hit 2 points in there. Had a really good roll, and I knocked myself off the don't, which is fine. I went back onto the right side on the pass line, got my next 2 points hit, so I collected down there, and I worked the inside, and I just pressured myself up. And what I did is I went from 22 to 110, collected a green on all of them, brought it back down to 44, pressed them back up to green again. I regressed back down one more time, and then I think I had 2 more hits in there. And so and what I did was the last regression I did a quick chip count. Luckily, I had my lammers. So I chip counted myself. I knew that I had in my rack, what I thought was my rack plus the field was $1,000. I bought them for 500. I thought I got a grand sitting here between the rack and what's out there. And I did quick math, and I pulled back to 44, which I thought gave me the 1,000. I counted wrong, because my next throw, I think 2 throws later, was my 7 out and rolled 39. Didn't quite get the 40, which is a huge bummer. But the 7 out roll took the 44 I had left, or whatever was out there, and I ended up with 920 instead of 1,000. I just had a lammer in the wrong spot, and I miscounted. Otherwise, I would have been out for 1,000. But it was cool. Had a good time, and I will tell you this: my last don't pass bets were at $40. Which, if you know the strategy, I started out with a $5 don't pass. $5 don't pass, it wins, you parlay it. You win the parlay, you stay at 10, right? $10 wins, you win 20, you parlay it, right? You have $20 out there. If that wins, you go to 15. I kept building up the base. I had the base up to $40, which means I won, 6 or 7 don't passes plus the parlays to build that thing up. That's how the table was cold and choppy, and I just made those don't pass bets. They worked for me all day long, kept me going. And when I got the dice, I was about even, maybe $50 down, or like right around even. Depends. The problem was I went out with the don't pass, and I went out and tried the skill 66 twice and got burned twice on it. So that's 120 to make up. The don't pass made it all up for me. And then when I said I rolled good on myself and I made good money, and there's the proof. I can roll the dice. That first roll 7 there, is not always the way I do it. The last thing I'll talk about is this, the YOLO. I did my first YOLO yesterday. I told Ian what I'm going to do is every time I go to the casino, I'm going to YOLO it. I took $64, separate bank account, $64, separate buy-in, and I went 64 across for 1 roll. I waited for a guy. He rolled his number. He got an inside number, and then I went, turn him on. He rolled 1 shot. He got a 9. I took my bets down, and now I got $78 for next time. I'm going to go every time we play. I'm going to YOLO with that separate little rack every time we go. I'm going to try and turn that $64 into $5,000 by YOLOing it every time we go. And I can do it, right? We did 6,400 to 100,000. $64 to 1,000 or 10,000 is no difference. That's my goal. So I'm going to YOLO part of my bankroll every single time we go as a separate play from what else I'm doing, and we'll try and make that work. I'm also going to do that during the Crapsathon as a separate YOLO effort. So we're gonna do it. That'll be fun. Yeah, you're right. Ian reminds everybody that I could not hit that. 39 rolls, 0 10s. Can you believe that? 0 10s. How is that possible? 0 10s. It was insane. So I couldn't get it done. Anyway, good. It was a good weekend. We had fun. The most important thing was Dean and I had a good time. And we got to scope the casino out, and I think it's a good spot for us. The way that table sits, there's a bar right behind it. That's a kind of elevated bar. It would be the perfect venue, but they only have 1 craps table. So, it's a big ask to get them. So anyway, I will report on the YOLOs every single time I do it. It'll be fun. I think and again, I'm not going to YOLO for 20K, right? I don't have 20K. I've got $64. So we're going to see how $64 works, Chiro, and that'll be fun. So anyway, there it is. That's a trip report. That is my talk for today. Tomorrow we'll get into longer dice rolls. I got to get to work. I got a meeting I got to get to right now. It's a 8:45 kickoff for a new class, so I'm actually 4 minutes late. So with that said, I got to quickly sign off. Sorry if I missed your questions. I'm sorry if I missed any call outs that you wanted me to get to. I'll review the chat. If they're relevant still, I'll do it in the morning for tomorrow's show. But with that said, y'all, thanks for your support. Thanks for your love. Thanks for subscribing and telling everybody about what we do here. I really, really appreciate it. Helping things grow. Y'all have a great Monday, and I will see you tomorrow. God bless y'all.